and welcome to part 2 of a fundamental course on Indian Vedic astrology. In this part, we actually will cover a lot of case studies and we will apply the rules that we have learned in the previous part. We will apply our knowledge about significations of signs, houses and planets, and we'll find out the challenges in the horoscope. We will find out the positive traits of a person in the horoscope. So, to start with, we will take up a couple of areas, examples from a couple of areas, and we will see how the significations govern those areas, what would the challenges that the person could face in the coming time, or he might have faced earlier, depending on the dashas and transit that have already passed. So these are a couple of broad categories that I have identified for the case studies to be divided into, and we will first take up a couple of cases from the area where we will be analyzing the mental capabilities, and then we will move forward to the marital life, whether there is any marital discord promised in the chart or not, and if there is any marital discord, whether that will result into any kind of divorce or not. And the third category is where the divorce is promised. The third is delayed marriage, premarital prayers. Then we will take up some cases from the settlement abroad, because that's one of the area on which a number of people actually send their queries to get the answers. Then the health concerns or the medical issues, longevity, professional problems and success. One of the frequently asked questions about this particular area. Then delayed childbirth or no child. So these are a couple of broad categories specifically that I would say have been identified, or say, because these are some of the areas on which generally people will send the queries and would like to know what's going to happen. So we will take up cases one by one and try to apply all the rules that we have learned and see how systems approach astrology pinpoints about the issues and helps us in identifying the challenges and then recommending the proper astral remedies to the clients. So in this section of the course, what we will do, we will go through this word file where I have mentioned the birth details of all the case studies, and I have already prepared the charts, the horoscopes, and the birth details are mentioned here so that you can also make the charts at your end and try to analyze whenever you go through these cases for better understanding of the horoscopes. So we'll just look at the birth details over here, look at the prime area that we are going to analyze in the horoscope, and open up the chart and see what kind of afflictions are there, what kind of dashas are running, what is the malefic planet, what is the benefic planet. So this is how. So this is our first example horoscope, and we are going to talk about the mental capabilities. This is the horoscope of a lady who could not study well, and the mental peace was totally disturbed when she consulted, and as well as the married life. So the details are June 23rd, 1973, 12:00 IST, Delhi. And this is the chart. 23rd June 1973, 1200 IST, Delhi. We have to make sure that birth details that we are entering in the software are correct. So with these details, we get the Virgo ascendant rising at 2 degrees 59 minutes. So this becomes the MEP of the horoscope. We all know that. By now, you must have gone through the theory part a couple of times and must have read a couple of books as well, and you already are aware about the various basic significations of the different houses and different planets and different signs. So this being the Virgo ascendant chart, we know that Saturn, Mars and Sun becomes the functional malefic planet for Virgo. So let me just, if I utilize this area of charts, chart notes, maybe I can mention over here that the functional malefics for this horoscope are Saturn, Mars and Sun. And why do these three planets will act as functional malefic in addition to Rahu and Ketu? The simple reason is that we have to see the Mool Trikona sign falling at the 6th house, Mool Trikona sign falling at the 8th house and the 12th house. So Aquarius is the empty sign of Saturn. So Saturn is the functional malefic. Similarly, this is Aries, which is for Mars, and Leo. So if you have not gone through this chapter where the malefics, how the identification of malefics is explained, I would really urge you to first go through that chapter, that lecture, and then come towards looking at the horoscope analysis. That would really help you in understanding the horoscope analysis part in great detail. So for this lady, actually, for the Virgo ascendant person, the rising sign is 2 degrees 59 minutes. So MEP of the horoscope is 2 degrees 59 minutes. Saturn, Mars, Sun and Rahu Ketu are functional malefics. Now, if we have to identify strong and weak areas of the chart, if we look at the placement of Saturn, Saturn is placed very close to the MEP of 10th house. So Saturn is influencing 10th house, 12th house by 3rd aspect, 4th house by 7th aspect, and 7th house by 10th aspect. Because Saturn has 3, 7 and 10 aspects. So Saturn is influencing 10th house, 12th house, 4th house and 7th house. Okay. And if we look at the placement of Moon, Moon is also placed close to MEP. So this is a favorable sign for the person, whereas Moon being placed at 1 degree 25 minutes, it's in the state of infancy. So Moon is quite weak. Now the other thing that we have to see in this chart is this Mars being the most malefic planet, because it's the 8th lord, it becomes the most malefic planet. So Mars is giving exact affliction to Sun by its 4th aspect. So Mars is afflicting Sun, and we know that Sun is the 12th lord, so 12th house significations will be totally spoiled by most malefic planet Mars, and that affliction is actually happening in the 10th house. So 10th house afflictions would also to some extent will suffer. Now we have to identify the mental capabilities, and for mental capabilities actually you have to look at the placement or say the position or the strength of Moon as well as the ascendant lord. This is the Virgo ascendant chart. So Mercury is the ascendant lord and Mercury is in the state of infancy. Mercury is dispositor Moon, which is very weak. The only good thing is that Mercury is placed very near to the MEP of the horoscope. So that would really help to some extent, whereas we have to look at other configurations as well, like 12th house is afflicted by Saturn, 10th house, 4th house. Now when the 4th house gets the affliction of the 6th lord or for the 8th lord or from the 12th lord, so the basic education gets affected. Moreover, 4th lord Jupiter is in the state of debilitation. So Jupiter is quite weak. Its Mool Trikona house is under the influence of 6th lord Saturn, and Jupiter itself is in the state of debilitation. And now if we take a look at the Navamsha chart, do we see any weaknesses in this chart? We would say that Moon is placed in its own Mool Trikona sign, Saturn is exalted, no planet is in the state of debilitation, so that's okay. But ascendant lord is weak, 4th house is weak, 10th house is weak, 7th house is weak, Jupiter itself is weak. So that was the reason that this lady could not study well during her school days, and she had to actually abort her studies in between. Moreover, at that time, it seems that either she was in the dasha of Saturn or Mercury. Okay, so if we have to find out what sort of dasha period was going on at that time, her birth is of 73, so yes, she was in this dasha of Saturn, and Mercury was going to take over during the time when she would be expected to go for the higher education. And Mercury, we have already seen, Mercury is in the state of infancy, even though placed close to the MEP, and dispositor is also weak. And where the dispositor of Mercury is placed, from that house the affliction is going to Sun. So that also matters. We will not go into the detail of transit because we are not going to identify any significant event for a particular time frame. Whereas if we just have to look at the natal chart and want to find out that what sort of challenges are there for this native. So the 7th house significations are also in question because the affliction is initiating from the 7th house. It's going to the 10th house, to the 12th lord, Sun. I mean, it may happen that you may have to watch this lecture twice, maybe thrice. But what I can do, I can talk about these configurations once again so that it gets very clear to you that how do we identify the challenges, how do we identify the strong areas, and what area of life will be affected. So now the area of life in question is the disturbed mental peace, married life, and she could not study well. Even though our main major area for consideration is mental capabilities. So her mental capabilities are really in question because the ascendant lord is weak, being in the state of infancy. Its dispositor is weak because Mercury is placed in the house of Moon, and Moon is of 1 degrees in the state of infancy, even though Moon is gaining some strength in Navamsha. So, secondly, we see that from the 7th house, Mars, 8th lord Mars is giving its 4th aspect to Sun and afflicting it very closely. So, it's an exact affliction from Mars to Sun. And Saturn, being the 6th lord, it's a malefic planet, is very closely placed to the MEP of the house, afflicting 10th house, 12th house, 4th house, and 7th house. So when the 7th house is under affliction of Saturn, which is the lord of house of disputes, her marital life is again questionable. 4th house is under the affliction of Saturn, so the basic studies, schooling, that's under affliction of the Saturn, and similarly at the same point, domestic harmony, because 4th house would also represent that. And the general significator of knowledge, Jupiter, is again in the state of debilitation, and its Mool Trikona house is under the infliction of Saturn. So this is how you would identify various challenges. So we can see because of these configurations, these afflictions, she could not progress well in her school, because at that time he was under the main period of Saturn, and in the sub periods these planets were also running, and the Moon came, then Mars came, then so all these sort of planets were giving the afflictions and were coming as sub period lord under the main period of Saturn. And after that Mercury's main period started, and Mercury itself being the ascendant lord in such kind of weakness that we have already seen. So in this particular case, what we identify is that the mental capabilities, the schooling, the marital life, or the general frame of mind, or there would be several mood swings to the person in this particular case. So that's how you will look up any horoscope, try to find out the afflictions, try to find out the weak areas. Now for this lady, if we have to suggest the remedies, what would we suggest? So we have to see the dasha running at the present time when the person actually has come for the consultation or to get the guidance. What planetary period is ruling now? So we see that right now she is under the main period of Venus. Venus is well placed in the 10th house, whereas in that house affliction is happening from Mars to Sun. So Venus would definitely take a hit, and moreover Venus is in the state of old age, being more than 25 degrees, and under Venus she is in the Venus period. So first of all, we must recommend her to perform the remedies of Saturn, because Saturn is giving affliction in the horoscope. She must perform remedies for Mars because Mars is giving affliction in the horoscope. And if the question from her is about domestic harmony, that my married life is totally spoiled, what should I do? There is no harmony in the family, then the 4th lord can be strengthened. Ascendant lord can be strengthened, because if the question is basically for the health, for general temperament, for mood swings, for her mental imbalance, then definitely Mercury should be strengthened. And even if she doesn't question about that, and if he can afford to spend some money on gemstones, then definitely the ascendant lord should be strengthened. Second preference should be given to the 4th lord. And being in the dasha of Venus, it all depends what sort of professional problems he is going through, and if at all, I mean, if at all she is willing to, or say she wants some sort of professional growth or professional stability. If she, I mean, looking at this chart, it doesn't seem that this lady would be working anywhere. And if she is there, she has some sort of aspirations towards career stability, then it makes sense to enhance the power of Venus, because Venus is the second lord, the lord of house of profession and wealth, placed in the house of career. So during this period, the period had just started 2 years back. It's quite possible. I mean, this lady came to me a couple of years back, so I don't have the latest feedback. Whereas at that time she was not working, I know that. But now that the Venus main period has started, and Venus represents being the second lord, it represents profession, professional growth, status, placed in the house of career. So she might have those sort of inclinations to either start her own venture somewhere or to join a job. But definitely she will have tough time if she doesn't perform the remedies. So the remedies, if we have to suggest the remedies of the charities of Mars and Saturn. And because Sun is not giving any affliction, so we may skip that part, but it's always advised, it's always good to perform the remedies for all the malefics. But if someone feels that that's too much, he or she cannot do all sort of different remedies on a daily basis, then at least the planets that are giving the affliction in the chart, the remedies for those planets must be performed. And if you have to strengthen the planets, then strengthen Mercury, being the ascendant lord, give the general strength, because no planet will give the result beyond the power of ascendant or the ascendant lord. So Mercury can be strengthened, Jupiter can be strengthened, Venus can be strengthened, and if the question is about the income, fulfillment of desires, or general mental health, then definitely Moon must also be strengthened. So with this, we close out this case over here, and we have seen how to identify various challenges in the chart, how to identify weak areas, and what remedies can be prescribed on what basis. So that's really important. First of all, you have to diagnose the issue, find out the strong areas so that you know that what's the actual strength of the horoscope, and then when you have the proper diagnosis, then only you can recommend the remedies, the astral remedies for strengthening measures, for propitiatory measures. So with this, we close it out and we move on to our next example. Thank you.